Marfan Syndrome. Marfan Syndrome is an inherited genetic disorder that affects connective tissue. The connective tissue serves to hold together body tissues and cells. As a result, Marfan Syndrome leads to abnormalities in blood vessels, eyes, lungs, bones, and the heart. The main symptoms are therefore a high forehead and long limbs, as well as long, thin fingers, pectus carinatum, flat feet, a narrow face, a small and thin jawline, loose joints, and eye and cardiovascular disorders. In most cases, the syndrome is caused by mutations in the FBN1 gene on chromosome 15. The FBN1 gene that encodes the protein fibrillin is a major component of connective tissue. When this is damaged, certain structures break down, like blood vessels. The initial diagnosis of Marfan syndrome is completed by evaluating the signs and symptoms. Nevertheless, a genetic study is needed to conclude with certainty the clinical diagnosis. The study provides information about the responsible genetic mutation causing the disease. Having identified the mutation, it is then possible to carry out prevention so that subsequent generations are not affected, as well as studies of other family members to see whether they are affected and to what degree. It is a genetic syndrome passed down from generation to generation, and more specifically, it is inherited as autosomal dominant, meaning the probability of transmission is 50%, regardless of gender. As an example, an affected individual with 4 children would have the probability of 2 of their children being affected by the syndrome and 2 healthy, although the probability does not indicate absolute terms, whereas the other 2 would be healthy, although this is not absolute. This means that perhaps all 4 would be affected or none at all. And so in most cases, the affected parent has at least one offspring that is also affected by the syndrome. In 20% of all cases, the parents are unaffected and the syndrome is due to the emergence of a de novo mutation in the FBN1 gene. That person has then a 50% chance of passing the syndrome on to his or her offspring. The incidence of the syndrome is 1 in 10,000 people. The only way to ensure healthy biological offspring of individuals affected by Marfan syndrome is for them to undergo prenatal or pre-implantation diagnosis, PGD, which allows us to select healthy embryos which are then transferred into the uterus, allowing the birth of healthy children free of Marfan syndrome. Instituto Bernabeu has many years' experience in PGD and has pioneered the birth of children free of Marfan syndrome.